Road Slope Stabilization Project as a result of Hurricane Irene damage. There will be a mandatory bid meeting on Thursday, July 16th at 1 p.m. at the Shandaken Town Hall. Specifications are available at the Highway Superintendent's Office, 7209 Route 28, Shandaken, New York, or by calling 845-688-5031. Therefore, be it resolved that bids will be received at the Town Clerk's Office, Shandaken Town Hall, 7209 Route 28, P.O. Box 67, Shandaken, New York, 12480, no later than 3 p.m. on Monday, August 3rd, 2015, to be opened at the regular Town Board meeting scheduled for 7 p.m. that evening, and move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Bernstein?
Yes.
Board Member Higley?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Storm?
Yes.
Supervisor Sanders?
Yes.
Resolution 9315, a resolution to advertise bids for Herman Bridge Repair Project. Whereas the Town of Shandaken Highway Department is seeking bids for the Herman Bridge Repair Project, specifically a bid for 4 pre-stressed concrete desk units. Specifications are available at the Highway Superintendent's Office, 7209 Route 28, Shandaken, New York, or by calling 845-688-5031. Therefore, be it resolved that bids will be received by the Town Clerk's Office, Shandaken Town Hall, 7209 Route 28, P.O. Box 67, Shandaken, New York, 12480, no later than 3 p.m. on Monday, August 3rd, 2015, to be opened at the regular Town Board meeting scheduled for 7 p.m. that evening, and move its adoption.
I'll second.
Board Member Bernstein?
Yes.
Board Member Higley?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Storm?
Yes.
Supervisor Sanders?
Yes.
Resolution 94-15, resolution awarding transportation bid for summer recreation program field trips. Whereas the Town of Shandaken Summer Recreation Program will be taking 2 field trips during the coming season, and whereas the town advertised to receive bids for the following field trips: 2 school buses for round trip to and from Howell's Caverns on Wednesday, July 29th, 2015. 2 school buses for round trip to and from Zoom Flume Water Park on Wednesday, August 12th, 2015. Therefore, be it resolved that the Town of Shandaken Town Board award the transportation contract to. Who was that?
How many bids?
First one is Arthur Mulligan. And $68 per hour per bus for July and August trips. The second one is from Tachi Transit, Mount Tremper, New York. Mulligan's Tulsa, New York. This one's a little more concise. Trip 1, school bus trip to House Cavern, departing 9 a.m. with the stops to pick up the kids. And then trip 2, the same thing, August 12th. Total price for both trips, $2,380. Yeah.
Okay.
Both trips departing at 9 a.m. and return at 3:30. Well, they depart Howe Cavern, so you'd have to figure the time it would take to get them.
Generally about 8 to 5.
What was the hours on that? You said 9 to 3:30?
8 to
Is there
5.
2 buses per trip?
Well, that's their departure times, but
Yeah.
generally it's maybe
Oh,
the
that's
bus from 8 to 5 or something.
1680 versus 2280.
What is it? 2 school buses, yeah.
Okay, so
Anybody else have any?
36, 18.
Are you basing it, how many hours are you basing it on?
I'm basing it on 9-hour days.
9 hours?
Yeah,
Okay, so we have,
$68 an hour. 2 buses is $136 an hour. So $136 an hour for 9 hours each day is $136 times 18.
12.1,
1224.
2448.
yeah, that's point per day, so
Yeah.
times 2,
2448, yeah.
2448 versus 20.
2380, yeah.
Transit's local, or they pay taxes here.
Thank you, Rick. So, you know, 2448 is more than 2380, which township bid. So, I would say the township.
Is it township?
Yeah.
Okay, so I move its adoption for Township Transit to receive the bid at, 2448.
No, 2380.
No, 2380.
Wait a minute, it's lower than, 2380. 2380. Yep.
Second, somebody?
I'll second that.
Who?
Timmy.
Tim?
Board member Bernstein.
Yes.
Board member Higley.
I'm recusing. My uncle owns Township Transit.
Board member Malloy.
Yes.
Board member Storr.
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley.
Yes.
Resolution number 95-14, resolution appointing summer recreation counselors. Whereas under section 20 notes of decision 9 of the town law, the town board shall appoint all employees of the town. Therefore be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the director and assistant director of the town of Shandaken Summer Recreation Program, that the following individuals be hired as follows. Senior counselors at $225 weekly, Gabriel Hart and Daniel Rice. Returning counselors at $200 weekly, Nicholas Grant, Joe Relier Jr., Megan Heidenberg. First-year counselors at $175 weekly, Kara Herdman, Sidney Heidenberg, Patrick Pfeiffer, Amanda Moore, Christian Bleidenberg, Michaela Morton, Julia Fadum. Please be advised all paid counselors shall receive 4 hours compensatory pay for mandatory orientation as required under state law, and I move its adoption.
Second.
Board member Bernstein.
Yes?
Board member Higley.
Yes.
Board member Malloy.
Yes.
Board member Storr.
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley.
Yes. With that, we move on to Rick's favorite portion of the meeting, open public comment. Yes, sir.
I got a few things. The ambulance, a lot of people are using that ambulance like a taxi cab. You know, going here or there, someone, has a baby, they had to, just took her down in the ambulance. I always took my wife down, 4 times myself. I didn't need an ambulance. In the meantime, there's a lot of people in town here that have heart conditions. God forbid if they have a heart attack and then the ambulance is down taking somebody down for a baby. Let them make other arrangements rather than take up space. That's number one. Number two, the police department. Over the weekend, we had all these motorcycles in town here. A lot of them think they're Marlon Brando with their attitude. Loud noise with the radios. What the hell is going on here? And I don't see any police going after them. Number three, we have a lot of peddlers and gypsies in town opening up these little, what are you laughing at?
I just love your description of
It's
things that they call it.
It's ridiculous. They open up these places in town and the merchants who pay taxes.
That I can address. Yeah, I know the specific issue you mentioned, and,
There's a couple of them.
well, I informed Mr. Tutt of this activity that went on this weekend, which was the first I was notified of it.
Who's Mr. Tutt?
Warren Tutt is our zoning and building
Oh,
officer,
okay.
so I notified him of it.
All right.
They do need a permit, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, in the town here, the assessors have raised a lot of assessments here this past year and a half. I can't understand it because we've got 40 or 50 foreclosures in the town of Shandaken. The property values are going down, especially with the people on the creek, with the more money that they have to pay for flood insurance. How do they come up with these figures here to raise people's assessment when they should be lowering them? And the last thing, the engineers for the flood mitigation that we were having, last year they came around and gave you this big story. Where are they? They were supposed to have more meetings.
I know, and we have a meeting this Friday, because it's taking them longer than expected to do what's called a benefit cost analysis, which is required in order for each of the Hamlins to receive funding for any proposed projects that come out of what they're looking at. We had to, I can tell you, Eric's not here, but Don Brewer volunteered his time. Eric and I, we've been around to give rough estimations on first floor elevations for buildings throughout Phoenicia.
Yeah.
This is not stuff that you just do like that
I
either.
know, but
So it's taken some time to get the
I think
data,
you've done a
and we're-
wonderful job with that, Rob.
and we have a meeting on Friday with them.
We got from, all the way up in Oliveria there, the headquarters, all the way down. You take a look at that.
I know.
It's terrible.
And let me ask, remind you, you see the bills coming from the engineers for working on this Bridge Street main.
Terrible.
And know that we get funding provided to us to pay and offset those costs. I can only have so many grants at one time paying for this work, and they can only do so much work at one time. I wish we could do the entire town in one fell swoop, but that's not gonna happen.
You know, with the federal government here.
Oh, I'm well aware.
It's awful. I mean, we're putting this line in over the bridge, $173,000. I could do it with local people for $30,000. Yes, I could.
Okay.
And it's terrible. Terrible what's going on. They put this walkway across the Hudson, $300 and some thousand a year it's costing to maintain this. They're gonna put up, and we can't get water to High Street. What's going on?
That work.
Yeah, but,
Thank you.
by the winter time, if we don't get this done by the winter time.
Is that your list?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, then. Any other open public comments? Yes, Kevin.
Yeah, I wanted to just say another word or two about the Catskill Interpretive Center. We had a wonderful opening with 300 people or so, and the center is now open daily from 9:30 to 4:30. We really encourage people to come out, residents as much as visitors to the area. We have a lot of displays and information. I also wanted to address what apparently there have been a lot of questions about dogs at the site, and we do encourage dogs to come and dog users to be there. We're asking that people who have dogs stay to the eastern side so that people who are visiting the building who might be afraid of dogs don't have to encounter dogs, and dogs won't be in the building. We don't have signage up for that yet. We wanted to get the site open for the summer. For the 4th of July weekend, we had hundreds of visitors, actually. We've had over 50 visitors almost every day for the past week, not open a week yet. We will have that signage. We do have a nature trail that's a half-mile loop. We're expecting to continue to have new improvements at the site. We want people from the community to come and tell us what they want there. The site does have a gate, and we are closing the gate because we don't want vehicles coming up to the building, but people who are on foot and who want to come in can come in even if the gate is closed. It's not intended to keep people from walking there, but keeping vehicles away from the building. So you can park down below at the kiosk, which is closer to Route 28, and walk up if you're there to walk your dog after 5 o'clock, 4:30 or 5 o'clock. So we really encourage people to come. We want people to tell us what they like and what they don't like, so that as we go forward with the programming, we can provide that. There are 5 area nonprofits that are providing the staffing for the center. The Catskill Center, Catskill Mountain Keeper, New York, New Jersey Trail Conference, the 3500 Club, and the Catskill Mountain Club. And in addition to that, those are the kind of supervisors of the site. We have volunteers who are serving as docents, people to welcome the public and answer questions, provide information. We'd love to have more volunteers. You can do that by showing up at the site and leaving us your contact information or calling the Catskill Center. So come out, enjoy it. We're hoping that as people come to the center and experience the Catskill Park and the watershed in ways that allow them to recreate and enjoy it more, that they will have a better time when they come here and tell people how good a time they have and come up. And for people who live here, that we get to enjoy the area more because we learn about some things we might not have known about. The volunteers are coming from all 4 counties of the Catskill Park, and so I'm learning a lot about Sullivan County and Greene County and Delaware County, and we can share with folks what we know here about Ulster County. So, so far it's been wonderful. We just encourage people to continue to come and enjoy it.
I gotta say, the table in the center is the most impressive part with there's a topographical map with a digital overlay above. That's quite impressive. I mean, the technology that's in place down here is, it's impressive and makes it very paperless and accessible. I think it's really a nice building, it's beautifully done, so.
Yeah, I have two questions for you. The sign, is there going to be better signage showing the entranceway to that?
Yeah, we have a very attractive but almost invisible sign currently.
Right.
I'd like to get some wayfinding signs that tell people that they're getting close and on each side. We've requested that, we don't have it yet, but we're working on that because we think it's really important that people know where it is.
Right.
They be able to see it in
You
order
may
to
not
come
be
in.
able to digest it
And
as the entranceway.
Yeah, and it also will make it safer because people have a little bit of time to slow down rather than slam on the brakes to pull in.
Right. And the second question is hiking. Is there hiking trails now in place there?
Yes, there's a half a mile loop that begins just over the bridge. It doesn't have nature interpretation yet, but it will have that. It goes around the edge of the parking lot and around beyond the building, past a family cemetery that's on the site, and comes back onto the other side of the bridge. If you don't want to do a full half mile, you can bail out at the parking lot and make it a little shorter. The New York, New Jersey Trail Conference is also working on a trail that will go up the slope behind the Interpretive Center, over past Wittenberg Road to Tobias, Mount Tobias. And eventually we hope hook up with the Long Path.
Yeah.
There are other initiatives to connect the site with both Boyceville and also potentially going west towards Mount Trimper, Mount Pleasant, and Phoenicia. There will be, at some point, we hope soon, a fire tower on the site and a ranger station at the base of that. That's run into some administrative strags, but we're hoping maybe in the coming year we'll have that. And we want to give people at the site a taste of all that they can encounter in the Catskills. So there's a sculpture garden because there's art here. There's information about the history. There will be business information. We have brochures that bring together information about all the 4 counties. So if you have suggestions, bring them in, and we're trying to make it better every day.
Right. And is the hiking just hiking, or is it biking also?
Yeah, you can bring your bicycle, and there's some areas that are paved in the parking area, and there's also this 0.5 mile loop, the half mile loop. You can take your bicycle on that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Kathy, if somebody wants to walk their dog after 5 o'clock and sees a closed fence, how do they know it's okay to walk your dog?
Yeah, we're going to have signage, and we're talking about whether we should have additional areas for dog walking. The area near the kiosk is open. It's just closer to 28, and people haven't used it. It's where the sculpture park is.
When you see a closed fence, they gotta be able to, they can go beyond that closed fence, it's okay?
Yeah, they can. We're trying, we have plans for having a more easily navigatable pedestrian pathway in. That didn't happen as this gate was being put in place, as we were getting ready for the opening. So we asked for people to be able to have a little patience with us on that. Our intention is to have it just as available for all the users as it has been, plus new users, but we're not there yet. And so, yeah, I think people have to tell their friends and neighbors. Joyce told me there have been people calling the town hall for that information, which is a good resource. But that's the reason I wanted to make a statement tonight, so people know they can do more than it might be apparent right now.
I was just, about the parking, is that only for the dog people, or is that anybody that goes up there, you have to walk up?
Yeah, after the gate is closed, you
No, I
park
mean
down
during the
below
day,
and walk
during the
up.
open hours.
Yeah, during the open hours, everybody can drive up.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, sorry, misunderstood. So when the gates open, drive your car up. If you are bringing a dog and you can go to the eastern end of the parking lot, that'll be helpful. We're hoping to have in-ground composting for dog poop, and we're hoping that we'll have some facilities to water your dogs down on that end so that people will find it very welcoming there and go there with companion animals.
That brings me to another point. Actually, again, Shandaken has its own dog agility park up by Glenwood Park. I would ask that if you do use the composting unit, you do not have to bag and then drop it in the composting. That defeats the whole purpose. We have several of them that are clogged up, and our highway guys are not happy about who's going to have to clean it. So,
I think Eric is gonna have 2 more holes done.
yeah.
And also, I just want to thank Rolf Reese and Keith Cater who fixed the two gates who, you know, you couldn't close them. So they went and did that themselves and bought the materials.
Where's the agility park?
In Glenwood Park.
The dog park.
Yeah, there's two, it's sectioned off, so you can have small dogs or large dogs, and keep them separate. Just clean up after your dog, and there's composting right there in the facility. Any other public comments? Yes.
My name is Phyllis Walsh, and I live in Big Indian Opera Valley, Kelly Hollow Road. I was hoping you'd have an update, something you said earlier, maybe there's hope after all. We're a group in that community there. We do the County Road 47, we do a cleanup every year. We go pick up big bags of garbage bags and pick up all kinds of debris. We put plants in the Big Indian area by the post office and the park and all that. And then we go to McKinley Hollow Road on County Road 47, and there are those houses that remind us of the terrible tragedy we had here with Hurricane Irene. They have not moved, they look terrible. My property value, I'm not selling my house, but if I wanted to, what's this? You see a remembrance of it, and every single day we see it. And it's sad, and can't we do anything?
There's
And-
nothing that can be done. Again, you have to call the county, and you want to talk to Steve Peterson at the county level.
Yeah.
Or I'm trying to think who else, maybe Amanda Laval with the Office of the Environment. The FEMA buyouts are progressive. The county is handling those, but under FEMA regulations, you are not allowed to disturb the structure, remove the structure, do any demolition, because you will not, as the owner, you will not be reimbursed for any work you do on the property until FEMA says, go ahead. I can tell you that down in Mount Tremper, we had the same situation where I noticed one of the people in for the buyout went and did demo their home, and I asked them how they did it. They said basically they took another funding opportunity through another FEMA program to call the ICC, or Increased Cost of Compliance program, and ended up demoing the property. They're still withholding it privately, so it's good because it maintains the tax base, but the FEMA buyouts.
Property taxes on those houses?
And they'll still, well, there's no houses on it anymore, it's just a lot.
We have our
Yeah.
houses on McKinley Hollow Road, County Road 47. Are those homeowners paying property taxes and school taxes?
Yes.
They're not
It's
living there.
based on the assessment and the value driven by the assessor, by the town's assessor's
So
office.
that's really very, very low. I mean, there's no house and property collapsing.
You'd have to talk to the assessor to ask what those numbers are. I can't speak to them specifically.
You mentioned something about FEMA earlier, that they're coming into buyouts and more houses. Are any of those houses slated for that? You mentioned something.
No, I talked about the flood mapping.
Yeah, but then you mentioned FEMA, some houses.
No, okay, yeah, so you're taking it literally. Yeah, I did not physically remove houses from the floodplain. What we did is we had them redact where they thought the floodplain was going to go to, so now those houses no longer are going to be forced under FEMA regulations to have flood insurance.
Oh, I see. I thought you were going to move the house.
Yeah, no, we removed them from we removed the floodplain
Yeah.
from affecting those structures. That would have been more proper. for us.
Okay, well, I'll think of things again when you mention them, I'll speak to them. I would assume they would have seen this already and could have done something if
It's
they
all,
could.
again, shipping. There's many of
I
them.
know how you feel, man. I live in Mount Trevor. I have the last house before all of them that are, we have the same problem down there. Every house from my house down is abandoned. It's all, the same thing. For years now, we're all looking at it going, gee, our houses are worth nothing now. Ours who are there, our value is down.
And then I've got to take it, the assessor here's not going to count that in.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're in there, that's what we should go with.
Don't raise your assessment.
I have no idea.
The old Levine store.
Thank you for, yeah, I think, Phyllis, I can get you those numbers and stuff. after the
Okay,
meeting.
thank you very much.
Or I'll email you.
Yeah.
You're on that email list with the group, right?
Yes, I am.
I can send it all out to the, I'll agree.
Oh, that's true.
That way everybody can have it and
Yeah.
they can mass
So there's
call.
nothing else we can do, there's nothing the town can do.
We have no control over whatsoever. The only part, they came and asked us if we wanted to buy the properties, and we went, no, we don't want, so. If
But
there's,
once those properties are bought by FEMA, right, that it will revert back to county?
that's
Or
unclear as well,
private.
whether county's gonna take it, or the DEP, or the DEC.
But it will be forever, no more.
You're
moving.
not allowed to build structures on it. There's certain regulations. You can have parks, you can have recreational activity access,
Right.
things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're looking
If there's no other public comment, actually, I need to, we to go to executive session to discuss a continuous litigation matter as well as a personnel matter in the town of Shandaken.
Hey, Rob, could I ask if the police chief could attend? I've got some questions for you.
Is it pertaining
Legal.
to legal?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see why not. Yep. Okay. With that, I entertain a motion to temporarily close the meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I'll make a motion to open executive session.
Second that too.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. With that, we will descend downstairs to the depths.
We'll be back at, when they return.